We're at the Trimble County LG&E Bedford power plant.
We generate electricity out through a coal-fired power plant.
And we're here today to band the young peregrine falcons that nest in a box here that was put up about 10 years ago for them. The peregrine falcon is the largest falcon that occurs in the state of Kentucky, and they're also the fastest land animal. They eat mostly birds and occasionally bats, and they want to catch things in the air on the wing, and that's what makes them so fast. They can stoop at over 200 miles per hour to catch a bird in flight. Okay. So peregrine falcons were on the endangered species list from 1970 to 1999. We have 12 territorial pairs in Kentucky. And the reason that falcons have always been something that isn't overly abundant, or at least you don't see them everywhere, is because they nest on really high structures. And so historically they nested on tall cliffs with open rock faces, but nowadays they'll nest on cliffs and on man-made structures that are very high, like power stacks.
In 1999, I had read an article out west that they were doing the same thing out there, so I got Corporation, and they were more than happy to have the nesting box put up.
To get to this box, we had to go up 17 floors, and the box sits at about 225 feet out the side of a building that's attached to the power stack. We were careful to be very quiet coming into the nest because we didn't want the parents to know that we were approaching. The box altogether is about maybe 3 feet by 1.5 feet deep by 2 feet high, and it's got a perch that comes out the front of it that's good for the parents to land on. And in order to get the chicks out of the box, we need the parents to be out of the box and out of the way. And so we waited for the parents to leave the box. We brought a slide in through the front of the box to close it off, and that enables us to go in and grab the chicks out safely. Most of our nest boxes that we have up in the state produce 4 chicks a year. They'll actually grow from an egg all the way to a bird that's in flight within 40 or 45 days.
I think they said that the birds were only a couple weeks old, and they're huge.
We are getting ready to put some bands on the legs of the chicks and test them for a disease, which is the whole reason we pulled them out of the box. Today the birds were in their juvenile plumage, which is this white downy plumage. And over the next couple weeks they'll be growing in brown feathers, and they'll start to look more like the adults.
Really unique creatures to see up close.
We cover their face to keep them calm. Each bird gets a unique 9-digit number band on one leg and a color band on the other leg. So when we see them again through a spotting scope later, we can look in our database and see where the bird hatched, when it hatched, if it's ever been seen anywhere else, and that's how we keep track of the productivity and survival of these birds.
And it's just great that these creatures who were once on the brink of extinction are now making a comeback here in Kentucky.
We do no longer release peregrine falcons in Kentucky, but we still have several birds around that were released in other states or released in our state that are producing chicks in Kentucky. And most of the population growth we've seen in recent years was due to the natural production of these nesting pairs. Just a huge growth over the past decade. When you think in 2000 we just had 3 nesting pairs, so we've actually quadrupled our nesting population. The male that we have here is 13 years old. He's our oldest nesting bird that we have, and he's produced 27 young, so we're real proud of him.
My favorite part was after they did everything, when the birds just looked at the camera or just like all relaxed, just looking around.
Do you want a nice shot of him before we put him back? We couldn't provide these falcons a safe nesting location without having the support of the companies that will allow us to get a nesting box up for them. So the power companies and public agencies that allow us and work with us to provide these safe nesting locations have done us a great service, and the recovery of the falcons in our state can really be attributed to them.
Oh, I think the employees realize what it is and how important it is.
Oh yeah, the great thing about having these falcons here is that folks really get excited about it. Yeah, one of the employees here, Jim Kraft, shot a video through the peephole of the young chicks being fed, which was just really neat. I mean, I had the entire office gathered around watching it, just saying, oh, you know.
It's really something special to be here today to witness this in person.
Probably the coolest thing I've ever done. It's amazing to be able to get up there and have them in your hand.
You have a new appreciation for them and the work that the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Department does, along with our folks out here at the plant.
Not many people get to see this, and I've been able to see it for the last 11 years.
And there's the sound of a happy family.